All right. We got ZOUN in the bottom left side of the map up against SHIN for the Gaming Gladiators in the top right side. And this is, of course, the final match before the semis. Whichever player wins this best of 7 will join Serral in the semi-final. The other side of the semi-finals, of course, already decided. It's Clem and Hero facing off over there. But what an interesting match this is, because it really feels like the other 3 in the top 4 all just belong there. They're all shoo-ins. They're all expected to be in the top 4. But whoever wins this, whether it's SHIN or ZOUN, is a little bit of a surprise. And we are seeing the 15 Overlord scouting out front with this drone. What is this? He goes very far outside his base. Okay. Does he even get there on time? He's like a second, maybe half a second delayed on the hatchery, but that's all good. So he does go for a 16 hatchery there. Nice opening. ZOUN, of course, going for a gate scout. A rather normie opening, just poking out with the gate scout. Wants to see, wants to make sure there's a little bit of safety in here. Can always harass the minerals and make sure SHIN's not up to any funny business behind it. What an interesting match this is, though, because SHIN is a nasty player in the early game, in the mid game. ZOUN's very good in the late game. Very timing attack oriented as well. ZOUN's kind of this mixed bag because much like Zest, it feels like he picks his build orders before the game starts. He goes aggressive, gets in there, hits his timing attacks, but he's very capable of just peeling it back, playing a slow late game, something which I think Zest never really had in his arsenal. Zest was always more of a mid-game guy. I want to hit you with my timing attacks and take you out, and kind of jokingly calling ZOUN Zest 2.0 this tournament because he's just brought in so many clever timing attacks and executed them so well. He's going to be going for a very standard build, 20 Nexus, 20 Core, 21 second gas, and of course the 22 second pylon will go down in a moment. Just going to build that in the main. Yeah. So yeah, basically ZOUN he's got this broad skill set available to him, right? Like he's got the ability to just hit such a wide range of builds. He's been giving Clem a lot of problems recently. So if he does win this, I think he would have preferred to play against Clem rather than Serral, but I'm sure he'll have some tricks up his sleeve either way. Unfortunately for him, he will have to use up a lot of his PvZ best build orders here against SHIN. They're kind of completely different creatures, aren't they? SHIN and Serral. So we'll see what the approach is. I would say, personally, when I look at SHIN, I always think, okay, he's very aggressive, likes his kind of 65, 66 drone roach Hydra, his big Hydra Ling floods. Very rarely does SHIN go past 70 workers without going for a giant attack. Usually it's kind of like get 3 bases up and then big flood of units across the map. He will try to mix in all sorts of other surprises as well to throw off the Protoss build order. Adept just chilling at home. It's been all chronos on the probes for ZOUN as he goes for the quick Stargate. Really focusing on that economy as much as possible. Of course, SHIN, he's got the workers over there on the right, fully mining. Pulled off the gas. And a third queen is already on the way. I do like the early creep tumor. This is something I've seen so many players delaying their creep tumors so much recently. Now, interestingly, 2 creep tumors towards the third. A bit odd. I thought he'd put that on this side so he could spread 1 in each direction, but maybe worried about the Adept coming in, wanted to kind of disguise it down there a little more. Adept Shade does cancel. First Oracle's coming out. It's being chrono boosted. Extra pylon comes up behind it. There is a second gateway. ZOUN not leaving any openings. He knows he's playing SHIN, a player that could Ling Flood, even in an age when Oracles have near unlimited energy. And Oracle going to spot the high ground, which has twofold advantage. Number 1, allows the Stalker to see the high ground, so the Overlord goes down. Number 2, you now are at home long enough to go for a energy recharge, but no, instead he chrono boosts the second Oracle. Stalker's going to go in there and chase after the Overlord. This Oracle just chilling at home. ZOUN playing very defensive. I think this is the right way to play against SHIN. Ooh, probe in the open. Like to see that probe mineral walk, but the Oracle comes up and saves it either way. SHIN losing just a couple of Zerglings. Overlord goes down as well. So far, decent start for ZOUN, but he hasn't really slowed SHIN down in a big way. SHIN supply blocked. Only now building 3 Overlords. Little mistakes like that. Not something you want to be slipping into a game like this where the Protoss has just chilled at home. Hasn't really been any pressure, and therefore you want to have the cleanest macro possible. In a game with no distractions, where your opponent's just hitting that macro hard, you want to be able to keep up with them. Oracles are going south. No way to slide past this base. Oh, attacking the rocks. Bit of a mistake there for SHIN. The Oracles thread the needle, get on out. Very good control by ZOUN as he goes for a very quick Twilight. Guys, whoa, his Twilight's insanely fast. Is he going Glaive Adept? Already 4 Adepts and 2 Oracles are here. Queens go after the Oracles. The Adepts come forward. Some drones are going to go down, that's for certain. already focus firing the drones, but 4 Adepts massively overkilling on these drones. Does kill 5 with the Oracles in the main coming in. One of them barely surviving on red hit points. 7 workers going down. Shin making some big mistakes. This is an excellent start here for ZOUN. Can he get another? Yes, he can. 10 drones. Well worth it for 4 Adepts. You can see there, 10 drones, 8 Zerglings, 1 Overlord in total. And 4 Adepts did go down, but I think you're fine to lose 4 of those. Stalkers, and it is an early blink, a very early blink. He didn't actually start it for a little while, but still 3 more gateways coming in. That's going to be 6 gate blink very early on. And the question is, what is ZOUN's follow-up? Looks like he's thinking about a 4th base. Is he, though? Oh, he's moving this probe up, maybe looking for run-bys in the north. Could set up a forward pylon as well. 4th hatchery on the way for Shin. He's going for the safety roach horn. Not in the wall-off, interestingly. Looks like he just assumes there's no glaive adepts happening in this match. 64 drones for Shin. Layer's done. I imagine we're going to see a Hydra Den any moment now, but it is Roach Speed, Evo Chamber, and a Hydra Den all at once. Oracles find the 4th base. Can we get a cancel? Might be worth it. Nope, he's not going to risk. Meanwhile, pylon up north. Shield battery in the natural. Gas goes down on the 3rd base, but no more probes happening right now. The Stalkers are moving forward. Are we going to build a gateway up here? ZOUN going for 3 more gateways. That's 9 gate. He's going to go 9 gate. One of the gateways on the front to create some fast warp-ins. Shin sees it. Shin spots it. Oh, and of course, he's got that high testosterone voice announcer there. That's right. He's got the Diva voice pack on. Pylon is going to go down. Can the probe start another gateway? Yes, it can. And the Oracles should be able to clean those Zerglings up, getting rid of about 5 of the Zergling Stalkers. Almost taking out the hatchery right now as well. Shin coming forward with Roaches. Roaches and Queens, not the best units against this. But Shin, he has stopped at a pretty low worker count. He's massing army. So even though he doesn't have a lot of units, he should be able to at least push back the first few Stalkers. But, oh, the hatchery, maybe better to cancel that and just rebuild it. Dude, he lets it finish. It's only got 150 life. Shin has said, no, I need this hatchery. I cannot give it up. Drops a transfuse on the hatchery. You can see 75 initial healing, another 50 over the next 5 seconds. Roaches, Queens, trying to hold the high ground. Might help a little bit if you can get right up on the edge of the high ground, but the Oracles will give vision anyway. 1 or 2 Stalkers going down there. ZOUN's going to need to be a little bit more perfect on his micro than this. He's leaning into a 9-gate Stalker all in, guys. This is a massively committed attack. He needs to do big damage. The Roaches and Queens pulling back. He's finding pretty decent damage so far. You can see 1,000 resources, 7 units lost, but another Stalker dies before he can teleport. Another one goes down. Big mistakes on the micro for ZOUN. This whole build is about not losing any units and just keeping them all alive and blinking back. Another 2 Stalkers just went down. Another Stalker just went down. ZOUN's micro, unimpressive right now. He's nervous here at the start of this best of 7. And I think you can see it, man, in the way he's playing. There's just a few too many mistakes coming in. He's trying to win like it's a big vicious all-in that's caught his opponent off guard. But even with a stasis trap freezing 5 of the units, it doesn't feel like he's going to be able to break through. It's only a few seconds till those Roaches pop out of that. He's taking out a lot of Hydras, though. He's pushing incredibly hard. The Queen's very low, but the Roaches pop out of the stasis trap, and that should push ZOUN back. ZOUN resumes probing now, but he keeps fighting, standing and fighting, and the units lost tab. Way, way bad for him. You're meant to be miles ahead in the units lost tab. Instead, it's dead even, which is not good for a Protoss in this scenario. Zerg has a 4th up. Zerg can drone really hard at any moment. ZOUN's still trying to force the issue. If you're getting free pickoffs, I like it, but he's not. He's bleeding out Stalkers. This is a bad trade for ZOUN, and Shin, I don't think the start was good for him. Losing 10 drones for 4 Adepts is kind of nasty, but it wasn't the fastest worker damage ever. We've got to remember that. Even though 10 drones sounds like a lot, it was one of the later pressures, right? It was 2 Oracles, 4 Adepts, about the 5-minute mark. It's not as crazy as losing 10 drones at the 3 or 4-minute mark. He had a much bigger amount to rebuild, but ZOUN just kind of headbutting. It feels like ZOUN's just picked his build before the game started. He said, I'm doing a Stalker all in, and even seeing it wasn't working, partly due to the miss micro, he just keeps on headbutting and is refusing to transition at all. Shin's just all over this, man, and I don't know how Shin always does it. He just smashes with 65 drone Roach Hydra, 65, 66 drones, Roach Hydra, and he wins with it every single time. He's got such a good win rate with this build, still getting even more Stalkers. ZOUN! Why are we not just running away? I've got to question it, guys. He's too excited right now, man. Ah, he's still just making Stalkers, no Storm or nothing, and I think it's just too easy for Shin. Doesn't even stop to clear up the gateway. He's like, why would I, dude? I can just go kill you right now. We don't need to kill your gateway. ZOUN's gonna tap. Great hold for Shin. Shuts it down in game 1, and ZOUN maybe being a little inflexible, his micro a little shaky. He's gonna have to tighten things up in game 2. All right, well, that was a rather rough one at the start, but I like the idea of trying, let's just start with a really firm blink pressure. off of the back of the Oracle Adepts. I think it was a good opening. And I think as long as he just kind of went, okay, you're making enough units, target the hatchery, then just blink away, or just stop headbutting up the ramp and just... Like, I would have liked to see a bit more, like, revelate the Zerg army for high ground vision, and then just, like, attack. But just blink back your Stalkers straight away, whereas it felt like ZOUN was trying to let his Stalkers get to, like, 6 hit points, and then blink it back just before it dies. I would have liked to see him basically say, the moment the shields are getting low, blink it back. And don't look to lose anything. Look to just do free damage. And start going for gases, storm, 4th base behind it. If a Zerg's only on 66 drones and their 4th base is deep in the red, at which point, you know, any counterattack could potentially kill that later in the game. A few Zealots could run in or whatever. It's not a good position to be in for the Zerg long term, but it does remind us of what we see a lot of the time, which is SHIN basically does a 66 drone Roach Hydra timing most games. Like, very common. I mean, don't worry, he can mix it up. He will try different builds, but he tries to do stuff like this a lot. And for some reason, a lot of Protoss players try to headbutt into him, and they say, let's kill him before he gets there. To me, it feels like the more logical answer to that is actually to be a bit more defensive against him, and maybe just delay your 4th base while you build up a lot of very high-tech units on 3 base, because SHIN is unlikely to rush lurkers. I do think it's one of those things you need to do in a big best of 7, though, like this. Like, and it's something I worry about for SHIN in this longer format series is, if you're never able to rush lurkers effectively and play that range of the game, if your opponents don't need to worry about that, they can kind of blind counter you a little bit. And that's the thing I'm looking for him. For ZOUN, I'm looking for build orders that don't just look to... Basically, picking build orders that aren't countered by 66 drone Roach Hydra. And I think with the setup on that last map, that was not as ideal. This is a bigger map. It's a better map for Protoss long term. So I think we might see ZOUN probably just play like standard 4-gate Stalker pressure into Storm, 6-gate Stalker into Storm, something like that. I would not be surprised by on Amygdala. As 2 Zerglings come out, 2 more on the way. Link speed has started, and you can see no more gas being mined for SHIN. Look at this cheeky probe. He's going to come in for the last second pylon block, is he? 275 minerals almost there. SHIN builds 2 more drones. SHIN likes to go 32 supply 3rd hatchery. And the probe gets there just as he hits 275 minerals. Probably not worth building a pylon, though. Ooh. Well, he didn't know about these 2 Zerglings. We did. Cancel. Let's cancel at the last second. If it's just 2 Zerglings, the pylon's really good. Delays for a good 20 seconds there. Cancel at the last second. But with 4 Zerglings, they kill it so quickly, you have to cancel it almost immediately. Adept's coming in here for ZOUN. He's, of course, got a Stalker behind it. Stargate's finished. Oracle does begin, and he's going to shade into the main. This is a crazy Adept dive. And forces an Evo Chamber trick. But, of course, SHIN will cancel that momentarily. He's trying to block, though. Whoa! What? He actually got the Adept. Oh, sorry, I didn't... For the world of me, I never thought those Adepts would manage to get the block off. Nice. Oh, the Zerglings. Nice move. They catch the Adept. Unfortunately, SHIN was so tunnel visioned on it, he forgot to build his Overlords. So he's building 3 Overlords at once now. I'm getting the Adepts good. But it always feels bad when you kind of get excited tunnel vision on something. And you go, yes, yes, got to win. And then you look back and you realize, well, I got distracted from another core thing. So killing the Adepts, nice, but the damage to our economy of slowing down these next 6 drones, not insignificant. Oh, I like this move for SHIN. Hides the Overlord up there. Gets away from the pillar nice and early. Gonna run these Zerglings in. Looking to deny any super early attempt for a 3rd, but look at that Twilight Council. Are we going to see some more Glaive Adepts? I think we very well may. We very well may see some more Glaive Adepts here. Nexus goes down on the 3rd. Saw a lot of them earlier in this tournament. There was, I think it was Classic who kept spamming Glaive Adept builds. But his follow-ups were very lackluster. Oracles fly in and fly out. ZOUN drops 2 gases. This feels like Glaives. Is it, though? Charge! Wow! And Chronoing charge. What? What is this? Okay, we're going to do a Zealot pressure. Why are we Chronoing it? Oh, there's only 2 gateways. Huh. I don't know why you'd chrono charge it. I can't imagine there's any way you're going to have any sort of Zealot timing ready when that charge finishes. You just don't have the production for it. Nice surround here for SHIN. Does take out 2 of the Adepts. Oh my god, 2 Adepts and a Stalker. Oh, that's a juicy pickoff. Dude, SHIN's killing all the early Protoss Gateway units. Sees 2 Zealots as well, which already is like, hey, what are you doing, buddy? Are you skipping Blink this game? Because that's a big indication that you are. Now, if you know your opponent's skipping Blink, you can often go Swarm Host. This is not a good map for it. Like, yeah, you could throw from that side into the natural. You can try to do it from the middle, but it's not very effective there, and you can't really get into the main because this third is blocking for it. So I don't think Swarm Host is super viable on Amygdala. You can play Mutalisks. Mutalisks actually really good against a player who skipped out on Blink. Not going to have the kind of in-between response, but it is just a Hydra Den for now for Shin. And Ling's poking around. Going to get another probe, maybe? Not quite able to get it. Oh, wow, going for the Zealot. A little brave there. Forces a few more Zealot Warpins, and that tells you all you need to know. Now, this is what I was talking about, guys. Look, Charge is going to finish at 6 minutes. But you've got like 5, 6 Zealots. So, how many is this? 8 Zealots. Okay, not that bad. I mean, the thing is, they're not really attacking as Charge finishes. They're just starting to move out now. So, I guess it's a very light Zealot poke. It's just 8 Zealots and 2 Oracles at the 6-minute mark. Maybe denies the 4th base. Could be good. If he targets that 4th, it's a pretty good snatch. Storm does start up. We've got 5 gates there, 6th gate on the way. It's going to be Storm Immortal behind it. The Robo just now starting those. The Immortals will be rather late. Clicking that hatchery could be massive. I think you commit. Oh, he doesn't commit. ZOUN says, nope, I don't want to get the hatchery. I want to kill the Zerglings. I want to do more damage. But remember, these are not +1 Zerglings. Zealots, sorry. They do not two-shot the Zerglings. Oracles. Oh, no, the Hydras are out. The Oracles tried to go around. Oh, he thought he could lure the Queens down here and then get him. Was not expecting Hydras on the map this early. ZOUN does cancel the base there at the last second, but he loses so much doing it. Look at the units lost tab, guys. I don't think Shin cares about losing his 4th base because he's like, oh, you're just going to do that? I mean, he could just go now. I don't know. Oh, he's going to break the rocks. I'm surprised he didn't just go. I feel like he could have just gone there, guys. Storm 15 seconds away from finishing. ZOUN already used energy recharge. I've been so critical of Protoss players. So many of the top players, they will just sit there and they'll wait till the Zerg army's at their doorstep, then they'll use energy recharge. But look, ZOUN already used it, which means he's halfway towards getting it off cooldown. I know it's a tiny button down here, but it's 30 seconds till he can use it again. Each time you use it, that's 2 storms. So he's got 2 storms banked up because of it. He's going to get maybe enough time to get 2 more on these 2. And if he warps in another High Templar, warps in 2 more, he could go from 4 to 6 Side Storms, which is massive. And that's the preparation, because he needs to defend. It is a lot of Hydraling coming in, going for the natural, the cannon, and the battery. He could focus those with the Hydras. Oh, that's big. If he focuses the cannon and the battery down, yep, cannon goes down instantly. Watch out for the Storm, though. The Storm's done! Hydras! Oh my gosh, the Arc on High Templar here! The Lings jump on top. The High Templar storm those Lings to Kingdom Come. 2 more Storms are ready on those High Templar. Arc on Sentry, Zealot ready. 1 or 2 more good Storms could maybe hold on. It's a lot of Hydra Lings. Shin was so far ahead on the early trading. Is it going to be enough, though? The High Templar looking for the Storms, not able to find it. He's looking for 1 more Storm in those Hydras in the top left. Watch for those Hydras in the back to get Storm, but no. High Templar go back to the front. Zealots cleaning up the Hydras behind the mineral line. On the right side, the Hydras get racked. And Shin, he takes a big lead on the army versus army earlier. He was ahead almost 1,000. Now he's down almost 1,000. What a swing. A 2,000 resource swing in ZOUN's favor. The power of defensive Storm. A couple of Zealots Immortals. And the Archons were ever so important, along with the Storms, for cleaning up those Zerglings. Shin getting a little bit too cocky, a little too cavalier, and I don't think it's going well for him. Now he's just going to get overrun. He might just be dead, man. He might just... I mean, yeah, look at this. He's going to lose every Hydra to these +1 Zealots. The Zerglings disappear. You'd like to have Roaches against the Zealot Archon, but he doesn't quite have it. And now this army can push in and deny his 4th base yet again. A disaster for a Zerg player. The drone's exposed on the base. Shin down 9 workers already. And a 4th base starts behind this for ZOUN. ZOUN fighting back in style right now. ZOUN all over this series. Takes out the 4th. It's a 3-base Zerg. And ZOUN can just pull back. I mean, he can keep pushing if he wants. Doesn't really need to, though. He's only got a few Psy Storms. It's mostly a Zealot army. He's attacking away from his High Templar. This is a crazy attack for ZOUN. A crazy attack for ZOUN. High Templar come forward. We've got the Psy Storms do come across the Roaches, tickling them. He's going to get out of here. You don't want to get yourself surrounded on creep. This is what Classic ran into that problem when he was playing against Mr. Shin as well. So you got to pull out of here. Stay there is fine, maybe. But it's all about chronoing Immortals, chronoing Archons. Unfortunately, he's left himself locked in his base here. You can see the Zealot was in the wall. Unlike Hero, this man never leaves his door unguarded. Overlord's in the middle. Ooh, times like these, you wish you had a Void Ray. Gonna keep pushing in is ZOUN. Wow, but he's got to be careful. It's a lot of Roach Hydra. Good Storm to make it hard for the Roach Hydra to chase him. I like the way Shin's just going to focus the High Templar. Gets one. Archon does morph reactively. Nice morph for ZOUN. I think he saved the High Templar. He did. That High Templar was like a fraction of a second from getting hit in the face by 4 more Roach Hydra attacks and dying. But Shin right now on 57 workers, massing Roach Hydra. He is in a terrible spot. And for ZOUN, as long as you have a lot of Storm, Immortals, and Archons together, I think you've got this one in the bag. You've just got to make sure you don't get, like, caught by a big surprise Roach Hydra attack catching you out of position or a Nidus or something like that. As long as that doesn't happen, I think it's kind of hard to lose as Protoss. You've got so much Storm. The opponent has no long-term game plan whatsoever. You've spotted a few Roaches in the top left. Easy defense, cleaning up a Roach down there. You could deny the gold minerals from behind. I mean, Shin is just in a terrible spot. How do you fight back from here? You got to be nifty. You got to be tricky. You got to hope your opponent doesn't see you coming. He sees those Zealots. He's trying to hide the Roach Hydra at the last second. Hiding it to the last second. The Zealots see it, though. The Zealots do see it. There's a Mortal Zealot there. And if he warps in a High Templar with Storm, he could do really well. But these Zealots didn't click all the way back at the same time. ZOUN's going to click in the front, trying to push at the same time. He says the best answer is a good offense. I don't know if that's the case. I feel like recall here would probably be a very valid decision. But he's going to take out the gold base. If he can defend at the same time, that'll be massive. The Zealots go in and get themselves killed, though. He morphed Archons rather than using Storms at home. A surprising choice for ZOUN. The Archons starting to get popped. The High Templar haven't really landed any big Storms on this side. Hard to be looking everywhere at once. The Hydra's nice spreads for Shin. Shin takes out the Robo. He's very clumped, though. High Templar warp in, energy recharge, and Storm there could be absolutely devastating. But dude, Shin, his supply is way ahead now. He gets the natural, he gets the Robo. He's fighting back. He's still super clumped there. I think you've got to get some Storm on this side. But ZOUN, he's going to recall now. I think he recalled down to the 4th base. This army's going to escape. If it goes after these guys, it will get jumped on. Shin wisely doesn't take the bait, and he just runs away. He just runs away. High Templar there does get taken out as well. Lands a Storm, but dude, Shin was dead in the water, and ZOUN just got too aggressive. He should have recalled. He should not have been staying on the other side of the map. It's cost him. Don't get me wrong, though. Shin's economy is still garbo. Shin's economy is still absolutely garbage. Uh-oh. He's going to go for a giant all-in, looking to catch this army down here in the bottom of the map. And oh, ZOUN's getting caught outside of his base. All right, guys, I'm so sorry we had a technical difficulty, and we've had to resume the game here from the middle of this fight. ZOUN trying to get out of here, trying to pull back to the left side. The Roach Ravager Hydra on the right side trying to bile. Shin desperately needs to kill this army, but the energy recharge is being used. There's still a few Storms in the back, and the Immortals are going to try and hold from behind this base. You just need to survive as ZOUN. ZOUN lost his natural. He's only on 3 bases mining, but so is Shin. Shin didn't even rebuild his 4th. That Storm! That Storm on the right side is devastating. Oh, so much damage on those Roaches and Hydras. Another good Storm goes down, and the Roaches and Hydras there as well as the Immortal Archon Zealot having big issues. But you know what? The Roach Hydra army's thinning out. There's no more Storm left. The Nexus is going to fall. The Nexus solo. He's got to click on it. He's got to click on that with this Roach Hydra at the bottom. Shin still trying to kill the army, though. I think in his mind, he's so all in. He can't just kill the Nexus. He needs to win the fight or it's game over. He can't just kill the Nexus. In his mind, he's like, I got to kill everything. I have to win the game. I've got no mining behind this. And I mean, you can see his mining is pretty bad, but that Nexus, it's so low. He just can't get on top. Those 6 Immortals, dude. They've got so many kills between them. This Immortal has 30 kills. Dude, it's one of the full hit point ones as well. 15 kill Immortal, 15 kill... So there's a 10 kill Immortal, a 15 kill Immortal, and a 30 kill Immortal. Wow, 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 wow. Shin desperately needs to finish it. He just didn't have any new bases at home. And ZOUN does manage to tie up the series. All right, guys. We've got Shin in the left side of the map now. It's tied up 1-1 on the right side. ZOUN going to be going for the normie opening, the Gate Scout. Now, the Gate Scout, guys... popularized by Showtime, the man who is all about the German efficiency. Basically, it's, I want to not die to 12 pool, but also I'm never going to be able to block your hatchery. It's just a very safe opening. You can do a little bit of probe harass. I am a big fan, since 12 pool is so rare, of just not scouting. If you're going to do this opening, I think in the current meta, 9 times out of 10, you come out further on top if you just skip the scout. Because this probe harass, as annoying as it is, I don't think it's worth losing all the minerals are going across the map. Hero is a big believer in that. We see Hero skip the scout all the time. And usually doesn't get him in trouble. But of course, Hero, I think, is a bit more of a gambler than ZOUN is. ZOUN likes to have a little bit of safety in his openings. Wants to know that he's going to consistently get to the mid-game. Gate Scout is low test, says Lambo. I agree. I'm just saying, if he was listening to the Diva voice pack like Shin... do you think he'd be doing Gate Scout? No, there's no way. There is no way. I mean, you guys could start it as a bit of a low T beta, but You get that Diva announcer in your ears, you're instantly gonna be like, yeah, let's fight, let's go. Friggin', I'm either scouting with my initial worker at the start, or I'm not scouting at all. None of this in-between stuff. No. What's low test? Talking about testosterone. Yeah. That's like, I always love it because I always learn the lingo of the kids through StarCraft insults. You know? I remember back in the day, we just called people morons. Then one day, suddenly it was like, oh, he's a real smooth brain, isn't he? And I was like, a smooth brain? It's genius. I love it. Everyone was into poker for a while. Calling everyone donkeys if they played like idiots. It's good times. Hatchery goes down here on the south. We've seen Shin take this base as a 4th and even go Mutalisks off of it before. ZOUN going for a pretty typical Stargate opening. He likes to go for the Stalker there, but you'll notice that because these Stalkers are so common, Shin's very careful with his Overlords. I think it's probably worth building a Phoenix after 2 Oracles. 2 Oracle into a Phoenix, I think, would be pretty worth it against Shin, just for trying to catch these Overlords and shut down the vision. Second gateway comes down. Lambo in the chat, if I had the Diva announcer, I'd also all in every game just to get out of the match quicker. You need more Overlords. You can't put that there. Oh my god. You're just like, oh. I do love, like, I don't know, whoever pitched like Diva and then the Diva announcer, I'm just like, they're like, we want an anime character but annoying. I'm like, really? Alright. Probe's gonna try and mine out this side. Did ZOUN go for the full wall? No, he leaves an opening on the north as well. So he's not gonna full wall, but he can always do that reactively. Oracle does get just a single Zergling for its energy, and then it's out of juice. The energy recharge, Protoss players not caring too much about wasting a little bit of energy here or there. Twilight Council's almost finished. 3rd and 4th. It's such a quick Twilight. This is going to be Glaives, right? No, it's the fastest blink of all time. Are we doing like a 6-gate blink rush? Guys, this is such a fast blink. Wow, pretty quick 3rd gateway as well. I mean, this kind of looks like Glaives to the Overlord. If I was scouting this as Shin, I might think I'm playing against Glaive Adepts, guys. He drops a Roachmorn. Oh, dude, this could be perfect, because you actually don't really want Roaches. Roaches are not the best for defending this. This is kind of awesome from ZOUN. Rushing Blink really quickly. Yeah, he's already going 5 gates, 6 gates. 6-gate Blink Rush. Oh, me oh my. Shin is not going to be happy when he sees that. And the battery on the 3rd. Very defensive, that battery on the 3rd. But he's actually going to go very aggressive off of it. More drones are being built here. Shin on 52 workers. ZOUN on 49. Zergling's going up to take control of the watchtower. Oracle's still looking around south, seeing if they can find an opening. There are 2 spores, so no spore on this 3rd base, but the main and the natural are covered by the Giga Chads. There are Stalkers out. Seeing those 4 Stalkers, Shin is going to want to drop that Hydra Den the second the lair finishes and try to get towards those Hydras. Could also try and go Roach Speed as well. I mean, you can try to play Ravager Ling. It is an option to skip Roach Speed, try to get up like 5 or 6 Ravagers and just make mass Zergling, but without a melee upgrade, it's pretty rare you'll see a pro try to pull that off. Evo Chamber on the front, Hydra Den as well. I don't really like this Evo placement because I think you're already going to get stuck fighting here a lot, and you don't want to create any wall-offs or obstructions for the Stalkers to use against you. 2 more drones trying to be squeezed in. Is that too greedy here? I mean, there's still probing going on for ZOUN. ZOUN's building a Robo as well. Breaks the rocks on the south. Kills a Creep Tumor with it. Stasis Field looking really good. +1 started. 4 more Stalkers warping in right now. Robo's coming in. +1 range. Hydra's building. Muscular Augments as well to try and hunt down and chase those Stalkers down. Got to spend a few more Zerglings through. I'd like to see him split some Zerglings around from the tower, either counterattack or just trickle these Lings, because these Stasis Traps are going to make it so hard to engage in that Evo Chamber. Really don't like that placement there. Just anything that walls off your units to have freedom of movement is going to be used by the Stalkers against you. Stalkers very nicely coming. They've both expanded to the front, so it is a short rush distance. Adept there. Very vulnerable in the wall off. Oh, dude. ZOUN. You got to focus at home, mate. Good gateway to wall off, but he's going to need to warp in behind that wall as well. There's a lot of Zerglings that have gone across the map. These Hydra's really vulnerable. I think ZOUN's correct to just blink on top. getting those Hydras down before the upgrades finish. Really effective for him. Stalker's warping at home. Cybercore's about to go down. Oracles are there, though. That's going to be a rebuild of the Cybercore a little bit further back. Second Robo and Robo Bay. It's going to be a Colossus follow-up. Very good counter to Hydras and Zerglings. Not the best against Roaches, but I mean, Roaches aren't really a long-term unit anyway. Stalkers will deal with those just fine. So if you can get out a few Colossus off this, that could be nice. Was there a Robo Bay here? There was. I wonder if Shin scouted that. Shin trying to play 63 drone Roach Hydra aggression. I mean, he's kind of being forced into it because ZOUN's playing so aggressive, but it does feel odd to me that ZOUN's trying to play so aggressive against a Zerg that very rarely chooses to go past 60 to 6, or let's say 66 drones. 66 drones is usually a hard cutoff limit for Shin, but I think ZOUN's saying, I don't want to let him be aggressive. I want to get aggressive, get in his face, slow him down, and then go for the Colossus. Then go for the 6 gases. And you know what? I think this could work very well, but I don't know. Part of me feels like you'll need a few force fields just to stave off the advance, but I mean, this ramp should be easy to defend on the north. You can take the 4th right next to your 3rd. You've got 400 stasis traps on this map. This might just be an amazing position for ZOUN. He's even got cannon battery on that ramp. I mean, the Roach Hydra is going to try to break this area, but look at that. Stasis traps as well. Oh, gosh. Dude, Shin's not going to be happy when he sees this. Still many stasis traps out here in the middle. More Zerglings getting frozen. Even more units getting frozen. These guys going to come in on the other side, but look at that stasis trap. If a Ling runs forward, it'll be good. The Hydra kind of runs in and fights the Colossus. Colossus happy to roast that up. Infestation Pit drops immediately. Shin needs Vipers and Lurkers. They will counter Stalker Colossus very well, but he needs a Hive for those, and the Hive has not even started. 13 more drones building. Shin right now, he's building drones, but he's also rallying those drones to the enemy natural, and that's a little worrying, guys. He's accidentally clicked his drones into the Protoss base. Oh gosh, they're on his army key, aren't they? They're on his army control group. Hotkey mistake here for Shin as he's rallying 13 drones, or at least half of them, to the enemy base. Going for the gas on the 4th base right there as well. ZOUN's got a good army, but remember, ZOUN does not have a late game in mind. ZOUN is basically playing mid-game shenanigans. I want to kill you with Stalker Colossus. He has enough supply. It's very likely he wins with this 4 Colossus push, but I think Shin wisely moving around the north. He's got a counterattack here, but oh, force fields on that ramp are just going to ruin him. And he never opened the minerals up. Guys, neither of them opened the minerals, which means when this army pushes, he can't run through here to counterattack the 3rd. He has to run up the natural ramp, and that is a no-go area. Shin has to give up this base and run, run, run. Run away. Zerglings and Hydras will be worthless versus those Colossus. He doesn't have that many Roaches, and look at that. I mean, that is just, there's no way. He's got to run in here, take the tower, but he can't because he never mined the minerals open. It only takes a single worker trip to open that up. 19 drones go down on the 3rd base. Shin in huge trouble. He's got Spore Crawlers. He's trying to make Lurkers. The Lings, like I said, nearly worthless units in this scenario. And it feels like ZOUN just has the correct army to deal with him. The Colossus staying surprisingly far back. Very cautious play here for ZOUN. New 4th base trying to be taken in the top left side of the map. Hive is still not done. Blinding Clouds, Darks, and Lurkers with 10 range would be able to hold this very easily, but it's just 8 range Lurkers. And as much as ZOUN's respecting it, he probably doesn't need to. He's going to take a 4th base down the bottom. Very late on that 4th. This is something I've been wanting to see for a while. You know, I've been talking about why do players keep taking 4th bases versus Shin? Just make more tech on 3 base. It's going to be hard for a guy who commits so much to army on 66 drones to deal with the really high-tech Protoss force. And I kind of love the mix-up of style for ZOUN. But I want to see Storm and the Double Immortal production. Double Immortal's great. He's going to go Fleet Beacon before Storm, which is interesting. I would argue it's probably incorrect, but maybe he just trusts his Stalker Micro to run forward and focus the Vipers down before they land spells. And I mean, Shin's so broke on gas, he can't even afford Vipers. He's literally just dumping all of his gas into Lurkers. 2 more Stargates and a Fleet Beacon come down. Tempest will outrange Lurkers, so they'll do the job. Oh, the Hydras and Lings are getting wrecked, dude. There's just more Protoss than there is Zerg here, it feels like. The Stalker's blinking forward. You know when the Protoss is just blinking on your face, you're having a bad time. Cannon and Double Immortal shuts down the Roach run by. Oh my gosh, that is a brutal Colossus push there for ZOUN. Nice blink Stalker pressure. Goes 3-base Colossus. A very delayed 3-base Colossus timing attack, but it gets the job done. All right, guys. ZOUN in the bottom left side, starting to get some momentum as we go onto Errorholm, a map with a nice tight ramp. But it's not the smallest map, not the biggest map, I should say. And these bases do start to get more exposed as they move out. Hatchery gets down once again. Yet again, a gateway scout build for ZOUN. He just likes this very consistent opening. gateway into gas. You can see here pulling back to rally onto the gas. 1 comes off minerals, so 15 on minerals, 2 on gas immediately, so you can get that Stargate. Stargate costing 150 gas, very expensive. Oh, he denies the mineral patch for a while. Yeah, Shin's mining is getting messed up. That is good harassment. Really good harassment by ZOUN. All right, that's going to be a 20 Nexus, 20 Cybercore. Builds a probe, 75 gas, 75 minerals, builds a second gas. Queues up 1 more probe. And then a second pylon should come down here on 22. Very nice play here for ZOUN. However, small thing, guys. If the Overlord veers into the main, it's going to easily scout the Stargate because he's built it at the front. One thing I really liked that Classic did was putting the pylon here, hiding the Stargate in the back. I think, you know, just showing the tech to the Zerg player is something too many Protoss players do a little bit too much. I just think it's like, yeah, what's the difference if you build it here? They don't get a free scout, and your Oracle rallies 2 seconds later across the map. I don't know. I think sometimes players get a little bit lazy. If it doesn't cost you anything to hide information, you should always do it in StarCraft. But this is like not just ZOUN. Like 95% of Protoss players do this. Drone comes in. Going to take that third hatchery. Probe spots it. ZOUN will be backing away. You know, it's kind of funny. Ling floods are so rare these days. I wonder if it's worth sending that probe home earlier. Since you can pretty much always assume there's going to be a third hatchery at this time. There's no real Ling flood drone drill all-ins anymore. Then again, I mean, if you start doing that, the drone drill Ling flood all-ins probably come right back. Get in there without you seeing it and depower your Stargate. Void Ray first. Going to be denying the scouting. Now, guys, Void Ray opening, I like. Denies Overlords. Can allow you to do some tricky follow-ups. Problem. ZOUN has a build, and I am crossing my fingers he doesn't do it right now. He has a 4 Void Ray opening off 1 Stargate, where he just keeps on building Void Rays, and he tries to snipe their 4th base, and if he doesn't snipe the 4th, it is utter garbage. But thankfully, he's building a Twilight Council. This is a more normal build. And this looks like a Glaive Adept. Looks like a 4-gate Glaive Adept. Could technically be another really fast Blink build like in the last game. But look at that, guys. He goes past. He doesn't realize the Overlord's right in there. And he's going to miss it entirely, I think. Does he see it? Oh my gosh, he barely doesn't see it. Dude, we are seeing Protoss players just getting really unlucky with their Void Ray hunting. Shin's been really clever with where he hides his Overlords. Is it clever? Is it good luck? I don't know, honestly. I mean, it's very hard to tell. There's always a little bit of those two factors often go hand in hand in StarCraft, right? I think anyone who attributes it purely to skill and says there's no luck at all is usually exaggerating, and same on the other end of the spectrum, right? Someone saying it's all luck, no skill. Usually simplifying things a bit more than the reality as well. Glaive Adept comes in as well as 2 more gateways, so it's 4-gate Glaive Adept here. You want to build a Roach Warren to defend this. There is no Roach Warren. There's also no Lair, though. So he's got to go Roach Warren with this build. If you don't have a Lair started, yeah. So 4-minute 40 Roach Warren, I think, is just in time to defend this. Also in a good position to wall off with 2 Evo Chambers. Oracle. Oh, can't even get a kill, dude. Nothing left hanging out. Shin playing a tight game. To be fair, his 3rd mineral line, he pulled all the queens away from that. Kind of greedy, but he gets away with it. Extra gas coming up. So it's going to be 3 gas roaches. Can he see these adepts moving out? They're going to be hiding in that main base for now, guys. You can see them all warping in on the high ground. 2 adepts there. 1 adept there. Looks pretty standard. There's this battery coming in. Robo behind it. 3rd gas there. So if you run a Ling up, you will see that there's a gas mining. And hey, you probably need the gas anyway for the follow-up. Here we go. Lings come forward and they see the adepts. They find one, but not able to fight that. Not with the other adepts nearby. Glaive Adepts almost finished. 5 roaches building for Shin. He's got a wall off. He's going to build an Evo chamber. Send another drone to build the temporary Evo chamber in the center of the wall off. And this is 13 adepts, 1 Void Ray, 1 Oracle on the map. So far, 6 queens, 21 zerglings. Not enough to fight it, but look at that. Sets off the stasis trap with the Lings. The roaches coming out. 5 roaches out, 4 more building. With all the transfuses he's got in the bank, he's looking really healthy. ZOUN's attack is finding air right now. And look at that. He's so disrespectful, he doesn't even leave the drone there. Shin knows he's shut this down. 4th hatchery goes down. Queens are already moving to respond. Gets an adept there with the Lings around. Very well done. Void Ray attacks. Queen's already in position. Void Ray has to back away. Oh, he might be able to get it if he commits because he got the attack on it so early. Oh, I mean, he does actually. I feel like he pulled away too early, but Shin didn't want to risk it, cancels the base anyway as the Adepts come in. One of the Queens goes down. Ling's attacking into the Adepts. Great fight for the Adepts, cleaning up a few of those, keeping the activity level really high. New drone comes forward, and he does accidentally shade just one Adept forward. It gets taken down. Oracle in the south runs in. 2 Queens still there. These Adepts recalling home. And that is not the damage ZOUN was looking for, but he's not done yet. He's made 3 sentries. He's making another Immortal. I'd love to see energy recharge. It's the big thing that a lot of players aren't using. With a push like this, if he'd already energy recharged a sentry, you warp in a few more sentries here, or maybe you just stick on just 3, but every single force field is going to matter against this army. 10 roaches building at a time. 1-1 upgrades for Shin, 4th base, drones, and a Hydra Den. Keep in mind, if you go for another attack, you're attacking into a Zerg that is famous for all-inning off 66 drones. This might be the greediest Shin game I've seen in a while, though. Double upgrades, and he's going up to almost 70 workers. This is kind of greedy for him. He hasn't seen the attack just yet. He's about to see it. Oh, he's too greedy. He's got 18 roaches and 17 zerglings. I think he's going to struggle. He definitely can't defend the 4th base. 4th base finishes, but for how long? There's no Ravages here as well. Guardian Shield does go down. Oracle and Void Ray, as well as the Adepts, the Sentries, all fighting here, trying to just YOLO it in. The force fields haven't gone down yet. Nice micro so far for ZOUN, though. Started stepping back a little bit. He's going to try and shade forwards. I don't think you ever want to shade away from your Immortals with this push. I think you do that just to scare them. And he actually... Oh, he leaves 4 Adepts in the main base. He's just going to try and shift-click on the drones, get some kills, and then get the hatchery and run away. But, oh, a misrallied Immortal gets taken out there. Meanwhile, the rest of his army's running away. He needs to leave the Void Ray there attacking it. 26 drones. What? 2 Adepts came into the 3rd. I didn't see it. Shin didn't see it. And that Adept has 18 kills. That one has 7 kills. Oh my gosh. Those 2 Adepts, dude. Shin saw a pack of wolves at his front door. He went and shot his rifle at them. He saw a bear at the back door. He went and stabbed it with a spear. He went back into the house, and there was a fox in there that just ate all of his friggin' supplies and half of his children. Shin just took massive damage, but is it enough Roach Ravager to hang on anyway? He's down on workers. He needs to crush this army. Adepts in the back door, sliding in again. This time, the children do evacuate the building and get away from those filthy, filthy foxes. They are going to shade towards the main base. Will they survive? Warp Prison picking up as well. Oh no, that's an exposed main. Remember, ZOUN's done a lot of damage, but he's got nothing behind this. This is essentially an Adept Immortal all in off 54 probes. He's building another Immortal there. Shades these 2 Adepts in. Even more drones going down. I mean, Shin right now has lost 3/4 of his family line. People are like, oh, what happened to your kids? Scurvy, sickness, Fox got in the house. I mean, it's been terrible. It's been a savage game. And yet, his opponent committed so much. ZOUN, 58 probes with what? His Forge has just started. He's still making Adepts. And guys, when a Protoss is still making Adepts at this point in the game, I mean, this is when you're playing a game of Civilization, you should have left about an hour ago, and you're in the corner trying to negotiate with someone. You're like, I'll be your vassal. And he's like invading you with modern friggin' mechanized infantry and tanks, and there's planes bombing you. He's nuking you. You're still making spearmen. You've got hoplites running around the map. You're like, I've got a hoplite. It's like, he's got tanks. Throw in the towel. That's the longer you make Adepts past 10 minutes, you're in trouble, man. You're having a bad time. They're not going to scale well the longer this game goes. Adepts good versus Zerglings. They're kind of okay if they land hits on Hydras. Up against Roaches, it's a little bit like throwing spaghetti at someone who's invading your home with a machete. It may seem a good idea at the moment, but unless it's in a pot of boiling water, throwing spaghetti at someone with a machete is just not going to be all that effective. The Immortals, though, very useful Immortals trying to move up the ramp. Great angle here. We've got Adepts coming in on these bases. Another redrop. Shin's economy is going to take a fair bit of damage if those get focus fired. Adepts coming down here as well. The Adepts not being focus fired because he's trying to keep his Immortals alive. Shin going for the all-in. If he gets rid of the Immortals, he could break him right now. If he can get rid of the Immortals, only one Immortal left over. The Roach Hydra starter step is savage. Remember, Shin is all in. His economy is getting butchered behind this. If he breaks him here, though, it might not matter. The Prism flies back into the Hydras. The Roach Hydra doing well. The main base, dead. The 4th base is an Adept not attacking the drones. This base, almost entirely dead. The Adepts are going to shade in there as well. Shin's economy, non-existent. But ZOUN does not have an army. What an absolute hot mess of a game, guys. I thought we were going into a high-tier, clean, organized, clinical PvZ. But these 2 nerds just came in and started slapping handfuls of sloppy joes at each other's face. And it's turned into a messy food fight of a ZvP. Shin ties the series up 2-2. All right, guys. It's 2-2. Whispers of Gold. Very aggressive map. If I was ZOUN, I'd be a little afraid of playing Shin on this map. But you will be able to get over there with early oracles. There's a lot of angles. There's lots of dead space in the back to hide your oracles and come in from. Shin here goes 15 Overlord. He sees no probe coming. So you'll see he's going to build one more drone. And then he's going to go for that 16 hatchery. Should be down about 46 seconds. Beautiful. Very nice opening. Gate scout once again for ZOUN. Both players happy with this sort of opening setup. ZOUN not really deviating. Shin feels like he doesn't need to either just yet. Says, if you're going to let me take my hatchery, I will take advantage. I'm very happy to. Having Protoss and 2 bowl cuts in a series doesn't get better than this. Thank you. Thank you, Twitch chat. I hadn't realized, yeah. Some pretty good bowl cuts, I agree. Probe trying to deny the minerals there, being as annoying as it can. Pool out to the left gives you a bit of vision of the oracles coming in. And it is, of course, 20 Nexus, 20 Cybercore. Now, if you think about where this series has gone, we've seen a lot of adept action against Shin in general. So players are really, I think, saying we cannot let this guy get away with rushing Hydras. When he does it, he's hard to play against. Now, for Shin, I'm thinking, do we mix in a melee build this game? It might, yeah, I think maybe he might feel like going for melee. You know, it's weird. Part of me wonders, like, are we going to end up in a game where someone ends up in that mid-game comp, Stalker, Sentry, Immortal? Because if they do, Ravagerling Bane is a very viable option. Lambert was teaching us that in the group stage. Saying, hey, yeah, Ravagerling Bane's not really good, but hey, if they go Sentry, Immortal, Stalker, suddenly it's great. It's perfect for dealing with just that. Ling speed starting up, pulling off gas, mining just exactly the 100 he needs. 2 Ling's going to go across the map for a scout, but that does give the opportunity potentially for ZOUN to deny the base. Now we know Shin doesn't like taking that bottom base. He likes taking the front one because he can launch attacks off it very quickly, especially once he breaks these rocks down. He can get to your base real fast. Oh man, I feel like there's so much kind of tense stuff on the line right now, and I'm just kind of thinking about where this series is going to go. ZOUN playing from the Void, Shin playing from a green screen content creator studio. Shin does actually do a lot of cool content in the Korean scene, guys. I saw he posted the other day. I haven't had a chance to watch it. Him playing against 4 Diamond players, 1v4. I don't know what the rules were, if there was a mod or anything, but that was really cool. Of course, we did our Clem up against lots of viewers as part of this tournament, as one of the show matches we did. Mixed in the middle of it was a lot of fun. Tried Clem versus 6 players. It was a little bit much. Even Clem can't keep up with 6 dudes all attacking him at the same time. Void Ray comes out, Oracle afterwards. So it's going to be that scouting denial once again. Overlord on the pillar is going to say goodnight. No hiding the Overlords from the Void Ray this time. Oof. Okay, so I wonder if Shin delays the Spore on the natural, because normally he goes Spore route, I think 4 minutes he builds it on the natural. But against Void Ray, you can definitely delay it a little bit longer if you're just kind of good with your queen positioning. Spore in the main, totally fine to let that one finish, of course. He still builds it right on 409. Nah, he just really likes this situation. There's got to be something going on in Man City up against Chelsea right now. I can hear my wife screaming from the other room. Oracle pulling away over there. Does find 1 creep tumor. Not worth the revelation. Not with 3 queens nearby. Alright, Twilight Council's most of the way done. Forge will come down as well. This looks like a bit more of a generic build for ZOUN. Just blink into Storm, maybe? Dude, we haven't really seen these guys build to the latest stage. And I'm always just staggered by the fact that people don't. I really liked El Dorado, though, by the way. So I've been talking for a little while, and I talked about this when we were watching Shin in the group stage as well, where I've said, look, if you look at Shin's games, he very rarely goes past 66 drones without committing to a big attack. He doesn't have a very strong hive late game. Why does every Protoss either rush a greedy 4th and give him an easy attack angle and get overrun, or attack into him and get their army overrun? And I've always said, you know, why not play it a little bit differently? Why not? This is 8 non-glaive adepts, by the way. 8 non-glaive adepts coming across this map with the Void Ray and the Oracle. He's hit it really well. But I was like, why don't people just mass army on tech on 3 base a bit more versus him and get that tech up earlier? So that's why that Colossus build, I think, was so effective. And there's other details to it as well with the way El Dorado plays. This is not a glaive adept pressure. It kind of feels like it, but it's not. Doesn't actually want to commit, not into that many Zerglings. You see that many Zerglings, you honestly just want to get out of here. Maybe leave 2 Adepts on the side of the map to come in later. So when the Zerg's attacking you, you can backstab because those Adepts aren't going to be that effective. Oracle, oh, nice hold position. Out of range of the Giga Chad Spore. Oh, these Adepts getting surrounded. Oracle's going to come over and try to defend them. It's like 4 Adepts go down. But, uh-oh, the Oracle. Oh, gosh, he's not watching it. ZOUN. Uh-oh. Oh, it gets away on 4 hit points. These Adepts trying to shade back. Ling's going to run in. There are Stalkers there. I think with the Stalkers as well, those Adepts should be able to get to safety. Hydra's already being built right now. Shin, did he build a safety Roach Warren? Guys, he got away with no safety Roach Warren. He's already got Hydra Ling massing off 57 workers. This is a very low economy Hydra Ling timing. There is no way you get to Psystorm against this. Now the real trick here is if ZOUN can realize there's no 4th base, that's already a huge tell. Like, wait, why don't you have a 4th? If he then sees a missing gas, that's going to give him another big tell. Wait, you don't even have 66 drones? How low economy are you? And then all you need to do as ZOUN is survive. Chill on 3 base and just do not die. But if he moves out, gets jumped on by that army, gets like flanked or surrounded, he's just going to get crushed really hard. But he's building 3 shield batteries. Cannons in the natural as well. Oh, I mean, he realizes Oracle does go down, but he knows something's up. 4th hatchery is going to go down. Colossus Bay begins. Could build disruptors. Could use it for, you know, robotics, movement speed upgrades for prisms and observers. But we know what it's really for, guys. It's a Colossus Den. It's the Colossus Mound. Oh, gosh. No sentry in the natural. Nice sentry warp, but he's got to get that force field down. He's got to get the force field down. The sentry. He gets the force field down. Clutch play there for ZOUN. And with the cannon finishing as well, can he defend? These Stalkers need to engage on that right side. Hydra Ling breaching the natural. He needs another force field. He's warped in another sentry, and another force field will be able to hold the choke point. Beautiful setup here for ZOUN, holding off the Avalanche Zerg. But that is a lot of Hydras. And these Stalkers over on this base are out in the open. Remember, he lost his Oracle and his Void Ray, and that is still a giant army of Hydras. Anytime you're fighting Hydras with Stalkers, you need a really good angle, which right now he doesn't necessarily have. He's got to keep his army on both sides and try to maintain concaves wherever he can. First Colossus starts up. That Colossus hard counters this entire army. Cybercore's down, which means right now all he can do is build slow zealots and cannons. ZOUN wisely is investing in cannons, realizing they will be his best investment. Right now, it's Chrono the Robo and make those cannons. And that is a really clutch hold. Fantastic hold. Shin was massively all in. He's on 55 drones, building 6 more drones right now, guys. +2 attacks on the way. Extended Thermalats. 10 drones trying to build here. Shin, I mean, he's definitely not feeling too good if he realizes Colossus are coming. But does he realize that? I don't think he has any idea. And he's going Hydra Bane. I mean, the Banelings, funnily enough, kind of tank okay against the Colossus, but I think on his low economy, Banelings aren't too attractive. He's now up to 72, though. He's droned pretty hard. If he takes a 5th base as well, there's definitely transition opportunities, and Shin is a master of finding good fights. But, oh, the force field! And he even blinks the Stalkers forward to lock in there! Oh, ZOUN, that was filthy sick, mate. I don't know if I've ever called something filthy sick before, but that was filthy sick. That force field, we may have just come up with a new term that I will try to reuse in the future. That was filthy sick. I would not have thought, many players would think to do that in that moment, but he's like, no, just need to stop those Hydras getting through. That was really nice, and what a jump scare for Shin, realizing the Colossus is there, tries to run instantly, but now he's going to realize, oh gosh, but if ZOUN overcommits to an attack, there's not a lot of sentry energy there. He did use energy recharge. That's why one of those sentries is standing out with like 3 force fields when the rest only have 1. He needs to flank this with Hydra Ling Bane. If he can flank it from multiple sides, I do think he could deal with it, but Bane speed isn't there yet. Oh, these are not good Banelings. I think Shin has to give up the base. I don't think he can fight in this area. He has to run these drones. Shin! His drones are getting toasted. He's going to try to go for it, but he has no flank. There's nothing coming from behind. You can't attack this army from one side. He needs to loop around this left right now. Banelings waddling into the base, guys. Oh, not the fastest or most surprising counter. He's got to split the army. If he attacks from one side, I just don't think there's any way. I mean, honestly, even if he comes from two sides, ZOUN's ahead in army supply, guys. And let me tell you, ZOUN has a special place he calls this. When he's ahead in army supply against a Zerg, he has his catchphrase, and he always whips that one out. He says, "My name is ZOUN, and welcome to ZOUN Town," adjacent to Pound Town. And, of course, much more upsetting than Downtown. No Zerg wants to be in Pound Town, but right now, that is where ZOUN has him, just zowning him relentlessly. So many Stalker Sentries and Colossus. The Hydras get one of the Colossus. Shit, I can't believe he got a Colossus there. I mean, it won't matter. He just doesn't have the numbers. And ZOUN, looking slick. Dude, that hold with the cannons, the batteries, the sentries, really nice hold. That was a shocking attack, but ZOUN held it with poise. All right, it could be over here for this young man. He's not really that young. He's a veteran. The man that took down Serral and blocked his Katowice run opened up the, you know, the chance there for Oliveira, right? That's how it worked, right? Because I think... And then he lost to Maru in the semis, right? So I think it was round of 8 where he beat Serral. Winner of this match will face Serral later on, guys, in the other semifinal. Clement Hero in the first semifinal. Serral waiting in the other one for the winner of this match. Shin will need to win 2 in a row. ZOUN only needs to win 1. ZOUN, it feels like, has got his feet underneath him. He's stabilized a little bit. Looking a little bit better. Probes here harassing the minerals. After casting that last game, we've allowed Pound Town as a permitted term in Twitch chat. Despite that, the auto mod's still blocking it. The auto mod is ignoring our commands as moderators and me as Twitch chat executive. It's going rogue. It doesn't like you guys saying Pound Town, apparently. Silly auto mod. It's one of those things, you know, you ever deal with a big live chat, 1,000 people chatting, you think, why would you leave auto mod on? And then you turn it off and you realize, and you're like, okay, I see why we leave it on. It does catch some false positives for sure. But when you don't have it on, oh my. Oh my, some crazy stuff happens in the chat. SHIN, formerly known as Ragnarok, that is correct, guys. What a crazy series this is. Stargate's going to come out for ZOUN. I'm kind of just reeling from how wild this series has been. I mean, SHIN committed all out in that last game, and ZOUN defended so well with Stalkers. I feel like a lot of players get caught out with the Stalkers, but it was adding the batteries, the cannons, and it was the sentries especially, because if his natural got breached, like 6-7 Hydras got through that natural wall in with the Zerglings, he was just going to get overrun. But he held the wall really well. He Hodor'd it. Third hatchery goes down. Stargate almost finished. Chronos on the probes. Double Chronos, so big economy focus here. And it's going to be a Stalker. But remember, SHIN's really good at hiding these Overlords on the edges so that Stalkers don't get value. A lot of players would just leave the Overlord on the pillar. Stalker gets the kill every game. But he's made adjustments to the fact that Protoss players were doing that so consistently. You can see here, the second this hits 50 energy, ZOUN's going to Chrono Boost. Look at how tight this build is, guys. Look at that. Ooh! All right, he was 1 second late. What can I say, guys? Nearly perfect. Second gateway goes down in the main base. Remember, he's got that single pylon wall on his natural. Cybercore's very exposed. Could get sniped very easily there. But the pylon, the most vulnerable part of the wall, is on the inside, as is the choke point. And your army's normally going to be centered about here, defending this third base. So, not a bad setup. Oracle comes over, checks the little Tetris piece. But no Overlord on the high ground. Quite a few Lings coming forward. ZOUN goes across this map. He's going to regret it. Those Lings... they're just out of vision. Oh, the Oracle turns around. ZOUN playing safe. ZOUN playing safe. Very smart. Very smart. Oh, don't move out. Don't move out, ZOUN. ZOUN, if you move out, you're going to have a bad time. SHIN's just waiting for that Oracle to arrive. But look at this. It's 2 Oracles. If they fly across together. Oh, they see the Lings. He's mistimed it. Oh, SHIN was expecting the Oracles to already be gone. But they are ready. The Lings come in. They find nada. Evo Chamber comes down behind it. It's going to be a melee build for SHIN. A very good idea in this situation. Melee is a very good idea. Twilight Council almost done. 2 gate, Twilight, 3rd gas, 4th gas goes down now as well. Should be seeing a Forge, most likely, as Blink does start up. He loves that super early Blink. ZOUN really prioritizes very fast Blink. Remember that ZOUN also created a very fast version of Glaive Adepts. You know, where he would cut a lot of probes to hit it. Remember Harston breaking that one down many years ago. And we said, how the hell does ZOUN have so many Adepts so early in the game? And had a real cool variation of the build order. That is crazy damage. Dude, 6 drones? Not only does he find the rally, but he finds the third base with the queens a little bit out of position because they tried to scramble to the rally to defend, but that meant the third base was a bit undefended. Those drones needed to pull away. That's a nasty start for Shin. Despite that, Shin's greed is fantastic. So even with that damage, normally I'd say that's bad damage, but it's 5 minutes into the game, and he's droned nearly uninterrupted. So unless there's more damage happening soon, I don't think Shin cares. That's water off a duck's back. I mean, obviously it matters. It's always it's a good trade. Good trade does matter. 325 resources for none. But, man, Oracle runs into the Spore and just dies. Real sloppy there for ZOUN. He sees there's no lair. That's important. This tells him he's not getting all in by crazy fast Hydras, Nidus Worm. He's already seen the 4th hatchery. And if you wanted to play Storm this game, that's kind of an indicator that you could go do it. But I think with this early 6 gate, ZOUN might want to still... He should still move forward on the map. Replaces the second Oracle that died, so he's going to rebuild it. And I think he'll move forward now. Yeah, I think he should still go push the creep, look to deny the 4th base, or at least force Shin to build a lot of army. Now, Shin, of course, is going to 66 workers, building a Hydra Den after this melee upgrade start. Nice surround on the Stalkers, but with the Oracle there, it's always dicey committing to a fight with an Oracle overhead. The Oracle, 1 unit lost for 19. Despite that, Zerg's only lost twice as much as Protoss. Oracle's incredibly expensive units. Overlord on there goes down. Infestation Pit and Hydra Den. Wow, Shin's going to play Lurkers. First time in this series. I was saying earlier, I think the one thing that's really missing from Shin's game is he almost never rushes Lurkers. But look at this, it's double Robo-Bay again. And rushing Viper Lurker hard counters this style. This is so good as an adjustment for Shin. You can't just keep making Hydraling all-ins, Roach Hydra all-ins, Hydra Bane all-ins. They're all countered by Colossus. But if he can get out 1 or 2 Vipers and just abduct the first Colossus and then go Lurkers, it's going to be amazing. Hydra pops out here just in time to save these drones. 3 workers go down. That's not too bad. As long as he leaves these units down here. There's no Spore on this base. Does leave the Hydraling in location. I'd love to see him run forward and posture aggressively. 6 more drones building. This gas is a little late on this base for Shin, but the hive has started. It's not the fastest hive of all time. If ZOUN hits with his first 2 Colossus, he can get in there pre-Viper. I really hope Shin builds a Viper, because he doesn't actually know that it's Robo-Bay. He has no idea. Unless he's just reading it from the previous game. Our forces are under attack. D.Va calling his attention to the north, but he was a little slow to react. He's like, I'm sick of you nagging, D.Va. I'm not listening. Loses a few lings there. 1,300 resources to just 300. Stalker Sentry coming north. 2 Colossus are out. 2 more building. Well, 1's out, sorry. Second one's about to pop. Oh, that Overlord goes down. I feel like his scouting's been a bit light for Shin. He's going for the hive. He's got a second Evo. So is he going to go Carapace or melee with that? I think he's going to go Carapace. Yeah, wow. Dude, is he embracing the late game? He's going to go for like 2-2 mass Hydra Lurker. He's slowing the game down. No Vipers. Does make me a little depressed, but without knowing that there's Colossus on the map, there's no reason to build a Viper unless you know there's Colossus. Let's not know yet. Big stasis trap. But look at that. He sees it. Let's go to Shin's camera. He didn't look. He didn't look. Colossus has just left his vision, and he didn't look at it. So he has no idea that there's Colossus. But he's got Lurkers. So, I mean, he's fine. He does build 1 Viper anyway. Might start to be realizing what's happening. He definitely should, as the Colossus are about to show themselves. Ling's thinking about running into that base. Oh, actually, a cancel on the 4th. Nice and easy. Presenting itself. Lurkers. Positioning around here. 10 Lurkers, 5 Hydras, 78 Zerglings. This is the worst part of Shin's army, guys. And he's building more Lings against a guy who's got 3 Colossus on the front. Zerglings are rather bad against Colossus. Some would say worthless. He doesn't have melee upgrades, which means they're even worse. So Shin has to find a way to use these Zerglings effectively. I think just surrounding these Zealots is about as good as it's going to get. We'll deny that 4th base yet again. These are slow Zealots. They've got +1. They'll 2-shot. I like the way ZOUN's clearing up the creep right now. SHIN trying to keep himself alive, not just in this game, but in this tournament, guys. He's got a big economy advantage. Viper comes in. I don't think he abducted anything. He got one Colossus, but the Viper gets focused down. That Viper flying forward, a little sloppy on the control. Remember, guys, SHIN is not famous for his late-game lurker control. He's still massing Zerglings at this stage, which, I mean, they're decent meat shields against the Stalkers, but so bad against the Colossus. If he gets rid of the Colossus, those Lings become a very effective meat shield again. There is no Psystorm. Drones getting sieged from the low ground. ZOUN staying so active. If those lurkers are sieged on his base, he really can't fight it with Stalker Colossus. He needs to buy time, and that's exactly what he's doing right now. Good abduct comes in. One Colossus does go down. Left side, Zerglings try to fight the Zealots, guys. 50 dead Zerglings, a few damaged Zealots. That is not the fight that you want. 2-1 in the units lost. It's in ZOUN's favor. And remember, ZOUN's going to be more comfortable in the late game. He can go storm off that Templar Archives when it's ready. He can make +3. He can do a lot of good things, but the Colossus gets abducted. 10 drones have gone down over the last minute. There's still a massive economy for SHIN. ZOUN still has to buy time in transition. He's making a mothership, and his Templar Archives is about to finish. If SHIN pushes now, he can go win this game. Warp Prism hiding off the edge of the map, the Titan Cannon on the side of this map. In my brain, by the way, we are like fighting on the corpse of like a Warhammer 40k Titan right now in this map. In my head, that's the lore of this map. That's why there's a giant laser off the side of it. Stalker Immortal Zealot, try to jump on top. Omega Stasis Traps. Oh my gosh, SHIN! SHIN, get out, bro! Oh my gosh, okay. Dude, this is crazy because there's no splash damage here. Storm's just starting, Mothership's just started, but SHIN eating the biggest stasis traps of all time. And Immortal does get abducted. Another stasis trap lands. ZOUN putting SHIN in the naughty corner, but the lurkers are still burrowed. The Hydra's trying to save the units. Oh gosh, he's got more lurkers behind it. I mean, SHIN has enough money. Maybe he can fight back from this. The lurker stasis trap is actually working as a force field against the Zealots, which is kind of nice. His abducts have gotten really good recently. Units lost tab 2,500 in favor of ZOUN. But ZOUN's fourth base has only just come up. He doesn't have gases mining here yet, and he's only on 68 workers. Compare that to rich gas SHIN. That's right, he's essentially at 10 gases. That is a crazy amount of gas he's mining. If he can get lurkers breaking through somewhere soon, it could be really effective. Problem, he hasn't started a Spire. And that tells me SHIN's not really thinking long term. Like, you've got to make a Spire, because you know Mothership and then Tempest will be coming in the near future. You can fight without it for a little while. You've got 18 Hydras. They will beat a Mothership on their own, but it's only a matter of time until those Tempests join the fray. Trying to attack the left and the right at the same time. I love this Lurker Siege. Cybercore goes down at the same time on the right. The Oracle. Oh, does he get the Oracle? If he clicks on the Oracle, would be great, but he's not watching. The Lurker and the Hydras cleaning up those Zealots. Those Zealots are struggling right now. Stasis Trap does go down on this side. Massive break with the Time Warp Storm. Flank of Immortals on the right side. Beautiful engagement there for ZOUN. Is it enough, though? Because remember, SHIN is rich right now. He is as rich as they come. If he can get that Nexus, that's going to be a game changer. Oh, abducting an Immortal into the Lurker Hydra. The other Immortal, he tries to click on it, but he misclicks on the pylon. There's no detection here right now, but the Observers and the Mothership are coming down, and I think SHIN needs to get out of here. It started as a SHIN-tastic fight. Does get the Immortal and the Nexus, but he loses a lot of Hydras doing it right now. This game is a hot mess, and I think that's where SHIN does enjoy it, to be honest. I think as long as he can rebuild another round and go, he's got 5-6 bases now up. He's taking the middle bases. Remember, the middle bases do not have a lot of minerals, only 6 mineral patches and 1 gas. The gas mine's twice as fast, which means it's a temporary boost, but essentially he's stim packing his economy on the gas, and it will get exhausted in the near future. Frenzy coming in. That, of course, guys, is Lunge, I believe, is the technical name. Nanomuscular Swell is the name of the upgrade. Lunge is the name of the ability when you actually use it. I call it Thrust, though, because it just feels like the Hydras are just thrusting into any sort of angle that they find a little undefended. Oh, damn. 5th Nexus gets found, gets shut down. Archon Storm Immortal. Still a good army with the Mothership. No wall-off anymore. Oh my gosh, when your wall-off's dead. I mean, it's kind of hard to have a unit in the wall when your wall doesn't exist anymore, guys. Lings in the main will get dealt with. Nexus, if he heals with the battery, it survives. Not healing with the battery, it survives anyway. Turns out +3 Archons. Pretty good at cleaning those Zerglings up. Gonna need to put a few cannons here to stop that happening in the future. Oh, these storms! One Immortal, I think, may have got popped there. I think it was an Immortal, or maybe an Observer. I think it was an Immortal. Zealot counterattack trying to go in. There's no Lurkers on this base. The army's gonna have to rotate. Lurkers are still there, though. Oh, wow, attacking into the Lurkers. Blinding Cloud goes down. Another Blinding Cloud goes down. A crazy attack right there for ZOUN. An opportunistic dive of a madman, and it is way too overeager. SHIN will not go down 4-2. We're getting a game 7, ladies and gentlemen. SHIN takes out the Mothership. He says, "Where's your mummy now? Where is your mummy now, Protoss player? Where is she? Shin transforms into Artosis for one gloating moment as he ties up the series and takes us to Game 7. All right. The entire series will be decided here on Ultra Love. Top right, ZOUN going for a gate expand. Bottom left, SHIN going to be going for that hatch first. And actually, 17 supply. Whoa! He's going 3 hatch before pool, ladies and gentlemen. It's a hatchery at home into a hatchery in your base. Shin has said, Game 7, let's get it going. We've both been playing an epic long series. And you know what? I want to throw you off your game. So that probe's going to come in, and it's only when he sees no spawning pool in the main at about 1 minute and 18 seconds where he goes, wait, where's the spawning pool? Minute 15? Where's the spawning pool? Where's the gas? But he's already going to realize even before that because he sees the drone come in, he pulls 4 probes, and ZOUN is going to lose a lot of mining time dealing with this. Now, there are arguments. Some people say this is not the best response. Koreans always stand by this response, and I've seen them shut this down pretty well and win the game afterwards. But I've also seen it go terribly wrong. Let's see how it goes. If you play a lot of games against Dark, you've played against this many times, but this specific version is a little bit different to what Dark often ends up doing, where Dark gets blocked, then he goes for the hatchery in your base, and then builds like his own hatchery and spawning pool and gas much later at home. This is more of an economic build with a disruption here. And because you've pulled 4 probes and Chrono to Zealot, you're going to get rid of it quickly. Now, Shin might want to go for the Evo chamber here. I'm not sure if it's worth it if they have 4 probes and a Zealot. You can cancel, build an Evo chamber on the creep that's already generated underneath this building hatchery. And the Evo chamber is much cheaper than the hatchery. And he's not going to bother. No. And I think that's wise. Because I think if they pulled this many probes, build a Zealot, they can't afford a Nexus straight away anyway. And even if you build the Evo, I think it just gets killed almost instantly. So there's no reason. Couldn't he send the Zealot across the map? Great question from Twitch chat. He could, but it takes a long time to walk across. You're never going to be able to kill that Evo chamber they build. They can cancel that, actually build the Evo. And by the time you get there, you basically make a drone run away from the natural, and then the Zergans and Queens are out. So you're going to deny a tiny bit of mining time, but you're going to have your natural completely denied forever. If that's the case. Drone still circling here. Dots appeared back in the chat. You've been hearing her screams in the background, cheering for the football, the soccer going on. She's appeared in chat and said, my team's lost. Back to watching StarCraft now. That's right. That's what you get for watching the dumb ball game, Dot. Gotta watch the real game with the lasers and the guns. Game 7 right now between ZOUN and SHIN. Insane barn burner, dude. I'm having a lot of fun, guys. I really feel like I love watching ZOUN in any matchup because his build orders are so diverse. He has such different ways of playing the game. But SHIN also, he throws a spanner in the works. And like, I love what we saw in that last game because, like, what's the one criticism I've said? Well, if SHIN just masses units off 66 drones every game, it's too one-dimensional. You need to play an 80 drone lurker game once in a while and wreck them with lurkers before they get to Tempest. That's exactly what he did in that last game. And it's SHIN understands what to do. And, you know, I remember interviewing him after Katowice, where he beat every single Terran, including Clem, despite being the big underdog in the group. Bunny, the only Terran that beat him in the entire tournament, basically. Hold on. Adept's going to get a bunch of kills. 2, 3. Oh, that's great. That's great. Beautiful damage. And he gets both Adepts out. Bad start there for SHIN. See, I remember speaking to SHIN. I was like, what was the secret? And SHIN was like, oh, I just did an all-in. And I got lucky every series because they lost to the all-in. And then I just played greedy the next game. And then I went for another all-in in game 3. I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, it's like just the classic 1-2 punch. All in into greed into all in, you know, just bouncing between, keeping his opponents kind of guessing. And he's very good at mixing it up like that. But this start, it's a lot more damage. Remember, it was 5 minutes when he lost those 5 drones in the last game. He was already at 55, 60 workers. Losing those 3 drones this early, much worse. It's a bigger percentage of his economy that went down to a smaller commitment. Slowing down his exponential growth. Despite that, still up 5 workers, so hats off to SHIN for his macro. And an Overlord pops at the second he gets supply blocked, and he instantly builds another Overlord. Had some nasty 36 supply blocks earlier today. No more of those. No more 52s or anything like that. SHIN's macro looking very tight. 2 more gateways in charge. So it's going to be the charge build again. Now, the charge build was fascinating. We saw this, I think it was on Amygdala. The charge build, as you know, you can do a Zealot Archon pressure. I felt like it didn't really do too much though, right? It was actually, yeah, the Hydra Link kind of shut it down in the early stages. But he got Storm behind it and crushed the Hydra counterattack, right? I don't know. Actually, was that ZOUN or was that Classic? Casting too many games in a row. It's all blending into one in my brain. Lair here. Almost halfway done. Second gas on the main, which means 4 gas total. Fifth gas on the third. No fourth base just yet. A few roaches are building. Roaches are going to be what you need against these zealots. 4 adepts going to keep you distracted. This is actually, I think, being the biggest thing that's made Protoss so effective lately. Is that it's not just there's an Oracle. There's often 2 or 3. Or there's a Void Ray and an Oracle. But it's these adepts joining in. It's the 4 to 6 adepts coming in at about 5 to 6 minutes. Just adds an extra thing to keep Zerg busy. And it feels like the early game used to be simpler to deal with. But the way Protoss players have figured this out reminds me a lot of Neeb in his heyday being the first guy to figure out how to keep constant pressure on a Zerg with Adepts and Oracles. And really just not giving them any room to breathe. Ling's going to counterattack. Adepts will shade back towards the third. Should be able to defend that. 4 more gateways coming. That's 10 gate. Guys, he's going for the tank. ZOUN's going for the Serral Killer. He beat Serral with this years ago in a tournament. It's the Serral Killer build. He's going to try and sneakily warp in tons of Zealots. Actually, no, not even on Archons. He's pulled off gas on the natural. He's not even mined gas there. He's 10 gate Zealot. You need to do nothing but mass roaches right now, Shin. Shin's building Hydras and Lings. He needs to build roaches. He has no idea this is coming. Diva's talking about taking damage, but she doesn't warn him of the fact that there's a ton of Zealots. 11 Zealots running in. Shin needs to gather his forces. He needs to get in the mineral line where the Zealots cannot get surface area. Those roaches are a little bit too exposed on the front, but most of his units are chunked up in the mineral line in a nice little clump. Oracle goes down. Queens will fall soon as well. Roaches pulling behind the mineral line. Ling's getting wrecked there by the Adepts and Zealots. More Queens pulling over. As long as the drones fight as well, I think Shin might be able to hold on. His supplies looking good. The Void Ray falls. It wasn't enough Zealots. ZOUN goes for essentially a 10-gate Zealot all-in, but he never pulled off gas in his main. It feels like here, 7 minutes. This has got to be too late. I think ZOUN's build order is messed up. I don't know if he messed up the execution or he didn't practice it that much, but he's only on 49 probes. He didn't even lose any probes. So he committed a massive amount economically to that, but his timing was so very late, and maybe that's part of just indicative of going for a Void Ray and Oracle and a 4 Adept Pressure and making the build look so normal, but it just felt like that was really very, very delayed. And I mean, an all-in is a strong word for it. It wasn't really an all-in, but it was a very committed timing attack that needed to do economic damage, or at least destroy, say, all of the queens and all of the army. It didn't kill much at all. It traded negatively. And that is a disaster. You killed some Zerglings, 3 drones, 3 queens, 1 Hydra. It's a bad situation. And now we need godlike storms to come back. Honestly, Shin should not give him any respect. Shin's making a Spire, and I think that's a huge mistake. I think Shin should just go across the map and win the game before Storm finishes, but he's getting distracted by a Prism. If these Adepts pull the army home, that is an amazing move for ZOUN. Anything that buys him time is great. Shin's pulling his whole army back. Shin giving a lot of respect to ZOUN here in the follow-up. He's waiting for his upgrades. He's droning. He's waiting for the spy. I mean, don't get me wrong, Shin is miles ahead, but I think he's getting a bit tense here at the end of a best of 7, at the end of a long day of arduous PvZs. Shin's kind of going, oh, should I go mutas now? And it's like, dude, you're letting Storm finish. I think you overrun it anyway. I think you can eat those storms to the face, but getting in before Storm finishes, usually the goal. Taking a long time to do this. He's been droning for the last minute. Should have hit with this army a little while ago. Storm kicks in, and now his timing. Not quite there. Energy recharge available. ZOUN's not using it for some reason. Should always use that as early as possible. Talked about this a lot today. Zealots coming in though. Lovely counterattack there for ZOUN. Really good to try and distract. Unfortunately, the Lings are going to allow him to chase it down. If it's just Roaches and Hydras, they can't chase you down, but the Lings being mixed in for Shin so nicely. And dude, he's got so much Zerg. There is so much Zerg here. The Hydras do eat a bit of Storm. He's got to keep them spread. The Zealot Archon kind of wrecking the Roaches behind the mineral line, but eventually the Storms are going to run out, and once they're gone, you're in trubs. And the energy recharge nowhere near ready just yet. These 2 Immortals really helping out. Another Storm's about to click in a moment. Another Storm does come in. Dude, ZOUN is fighting like such an incredible defensive force with such a bad, small chunk of units. Unfortunately for him, there were 14 Mutalisks built behind it. They're going to fly into his main base. The Roach Hydra is getting chased home. I think Shin kind of can't believe just how much stuff is chasing him. He's still building Mutas, trying to go back into Roach Hydra now. The Zealots ain't going to be able to do that much. He gets around that. The Mutas not microing to the main. It's been 7 games of pure insanity in both games. I'll look at a little shaky at the end here, trying to be decisive, but they're struggling. It's a very intense situation. ZOUN trying to recover from an almost impossible position. Shin, he's going for the production. And I think that's a pretty decent call. Depowering these gateways is going to ruin any ability to warp in more units. ZOUN still has 2 mineral lines. He's made Stalkers and High Templar on the natural. Storms can be pretty good against these Mutalisks. Oh, I don't know if he has energy for energy recharge. Oh, the High Templar don't morph into Archons, and they don't get energy. Oh, no. ZOUN doesn't have Blink either. He's going to try and recall his Archons and High Templar back. The High Templar getting storms off on the Mutas and the Lings. The Lings will run away. The Mutas go to the right side. And the Zealots, they actually killed the 4th base, which I'm kind of shocked by. I guess the Archons were there as well. SHIN needs to defend this base. SHIN should not be letting this base go down. The Roach Hydra is going to defend, and that is brilliant. Getting so many Zealots, so effective there for him. 7 drones went down. He did lose his 4th, though. Needs to rebuild it. Infestation Pit's building for SHIN right now, which seems like a bit of a wild choice in such a low economy game. Storms popping a lot of Mutalisks. No cannons in the worker line. There are ones in front, though, so the probes can run to the shelter of those. SHIN, it really feels like you can see the nerves. Look at his camera. He looks a little stressed out there. I think he's like, oh god, oh gosh, I know I'm winning, but also am I screwing up right now? And there should be no way that he even let ZOUN back to this situation. But I think ZOUN still needs to do some superhuman lifting to get this game back in his favor. Gets another Mutalisk with the Archons. It's 3 Immortals, 4 Archons, 4 High Templar. Only +1 attack as well. These are not the +3 Immortals and Archons you'd like to have this deep in the game. Mutas going to the main base. Remember, these are non-blink Stalkers being warped in, guys. This is like if your opponent has stealth bombers and you're using one of those little flat cannons from World War II. It's not exactly the correct matchup of technology levels. Ooh. A little bit of a lag spike here. Okay, so I think one of our observers might be lagging, guys. Hopefully this doesn't mess things up this deep into the tournament, this deep in the game. I know I crashed earlier today, but this is definitely not me. Just the way it's hitching like that. Hopefully just a server issue. And the players usually don't feel anything when you see that. But I can tell it's definitely not on my end just by the way it's happening. From experience, I can usually tell the difference when I'm lagging versus the server or other people. Lurker and Hive on the way, Mutalisks. This is still a scary army, guys. Roach Hydra could absolutely lose to this. Guys, ZOUN's actually going to go kill him with this army. I can't believe I am saying this. He's got Lurkers morphing, but they don't have Hive upgrades. I actually think SHIN might be about to lose this game. I know that sounds insane. He's going to try and Roach counterattack. There's cannons there. There's an Immortal coming in. The Sentry does get focused. The Immortal Stalker deals with that. Cannons, okay, cannons not quite covering there. Zealots warped into the main base at the same time. 7 drones go down. Zealots hit the bottom right. Dude, ZOUN's doing some crazy stuff. Archon split from the army, but he quickly re-rallies them, rejoins them. 1 Roach still behind the natural. These Roaches behind the 3rd. ZOUN's economy taking big hits, but he's got so much Psystorm. He's got 6 High Templar that are all going to have 2 Storms each in a moment, and that's what I'm worried about. 8 range Lurkers, though, in a choke point. Even though they're only 8 range, they're going to be pretty effective. And SHIN, dude, he's just got to keep those Hydras away from the Storms. He's got to keep the Hydras away from the Storms. The Archon Immortal pushing through the choke point. Dude, the Lurkers are getting busted, but ZOUN takes a lot of Lurker splash damage, and I think pushing through the choke point, he knew he needed to make some damage. He knew he was on a timer. He tried to push through, but that choke point there was just a bit too nasty into Lurker splash. I thought ZOUN was about to make an insane, impossible, unlikely comeback, but I think I did get a bit too excited there. I was like, I can't believe it. You know, I've seen too many players. I'm thinking of SHIN. There was a few tournaments early on this patch where he basically beat the Protoss player, and then the Mothership came out, time warped 20 Lurkers, and just like turned the game around with like a cloaking field when he didn't have an Overseer. There was a few of these games where SHIN was like up massively, game 5 of a series, and like there was the Mothership jump scare would come out, his Overseer would get sniped, and he'd lose a maxed army for free, and it was just like, I was like, not again, no, the Zerg trauma, you know? But he's got a 30 army supply advantage now. 4 Lurkers, 19 Hydras. He's still got the 5 Mutas being a nuisance on the map. It's not lights out, but that 4th base in the corner is huge. As long as he keeps that up. Protoss kind of running low on mining. Got a transfer from the main and natural as these mineral patches mine out. Mutalisks are going to run into the army. Archons are going to take out one of those. Stalkers take out another. Lurkers going to get in that choke point again. The hatchery never got sniped. And there we go, guys. The upgrade. Seismic Spines is complete. +2 range. These just changed from random guy on ladder, all-inning you on lair tech, to actual god tier siege units. Lurkers now having the range upgrade despite that. ZOUN pushes in and just clicks with his important thing. Dude, he killed like 4 or 5 lurkers there. The Roach Hydra wasn't really supporting because Shin was like, well, you wouldn't push through that choke point again. ZOUN's like, try me, buddy. Goes for it, but oh, he's not watching. Oh, no, he got distracted by the mutas. A moment of inattention in an incredibly stressful game and series. And just like that, his entire army crumbles. The Roach Hydra got rid of the High Templar, the Immortals, the Archons were all separated. The Mutalist distraction on the top of the screen there just pulled his attention away. And at the end of an arduous, insane best of 7 series, Shin is going to be able to seal the deal. He's got +3 attack on the way. He's got thrust for those Hydralisks, as well as the adaptive talents for those lurkers. And yeah, you can take out a lurker here or there, but that means you're headbutting into Roach Hydra lurker. You can see the Roach Hydra fighting pretty well. The Roaches are trying to click on the High Templar. He gets it. He gets the High Templar. Nice move there for Shin. Shin rebuilds his 5th base as well. Really important. A desperation 4th for ZOUN, trying to go up his resources, mining out. Roach Hydra running forward. Got to be careful of more storms coming in. Don't see any energy on these High Templar though, and ZOUN not quite able to break Shin. What a nail-biting match. And look at the relief on Shin's face. He is so stressed, dude. Oh, and a nice little peace symbol for him as ZOUN does quit the camera. GG. Well played. Fantastic victory for Shin. That was hard-earned.